right? Just see my different lecture talking about the same thing, though, okay? Okay, so let's look at this example. I have data here, 9 subjects. I want to estimate the average heart performance index for the population where the sample is from. Okay, so I have 9 pieces of data, and I want to find a 95% confidence interval for estimating that. What should I do? It's a small sample. Okay, so we just learned the formula. Yes, somebody want to say something? Anybody? Okay, probably, yeah, okay. Be careful. Sometimes you maybe just not intentionally just press that button, right? Just press it back, all right? Okay, so this is a small sample. We just learned the formula, right, for estimating mean. That was, let me go back to this. That was this confidence interval estimate for mean, right? Okay, so you need to figure out sample size. Oh, actually, it's there, right? It was 9 pieces of data. You have to calculate the standard deviation from your data. You have to calculate the mean of the data. And you have to find the correct t-score corresponding to the degrees of freedom, right, for that problem. Sample size 9, degrees of freedom is n minus 1, 9 minus 1. So degrees of freedom is 8, right? So you can look up a t-table for that degrees of freedom. Okay. So for this problem, actually, let me do this, right? So you want to apply that formula. That t-score times s over square root n. And I actually calculate the mean and standard deviation for you, right? But in practice, if you do your own problem, let's say for web design, you need to calculate this yourself, right? So that give you mean is 6 plus or minus t-score. You got to look up the t-score from the chart, right? Standard deviation is 0.87 and divide by square root of 9. So what is that t-score? 95% degrees of freedom is 8. So you go to that t-table from the maybe e-book, right? 95% degrees of freedom 8, it's actually 2.31, right, from that web assigned book. So 2.31. And you're almost done. This part here is the margin of error, okay? This part is about 0.67, right? So you have 6 plus or minus 0.67, and that's your confidence interval. Okay, you can convert it to 5.33 and 6.67 as a 2 endpoints. So you finish your problem. That's just very simple, right? Of course, this is a small sample situation, so there's one condition you need to check, right? What's the condition? Anybody? Normality, that's right, right? You want to check for normality. And that's not too hard, right? You can do that with the R commander. Okay. Okay. Any question? Now part B, let me change to another pen. This is not dark enough, right? Okay. So part B is a finding sample size problem, right? How large a sample size be needed? My margin error would be within 0.2, right? So sample size formula is n is equal to that z-score square and the sigma square and also margin error square, right? Or you just say find all these and square the whole thing, right? That's another way to do this, right? You figure out all these and square the whole thing, right? So what I do, well, since it's 95%, the z-score is 1.96. And sigma was given, that was around 1.2, okay? And margin of error, we need it to be 0.2. So you have all these and square it. You get 138.29. Of course, you want to round to 139. That's it, okay? You get the sample size that is needed, right, for taking care of this problem. Okay? Questions? Any question? Okay.